Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I'm once again answering some of your questions, such as what do I think of the new Omega Planet Ocean release? And will Rolex surprise us with the releases this year? It is release season after all. All that and more in today's episode. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Seiko SKX, my beater watch, my trusty old Seiko, one of the oldest watches in my collection. Just felt like wearing this jingly Jubilee bracelet today. Happy I did, puts a smile on my face, still does every time. And of course, guys, don't forget to check out delraywatch.com. Today we truly did get some very special pieces that have a particular attachment to me. The first one is a Cartier Rotonde double tourbillon mystery dial. A very expensive but very complicated watch that I remember from my early years working for Cartier. When I first started working at the Fifth Avenue mansion, the Hot Horology collection came out, and I remember seeing this come into the store, and it was my grail piece. It's a mystery dial complication, which Cartier is famous for, with a flying tourbillon, made in platinum, and I remember really wanting to sell one of these. And in fact, before I left Cartier, I did. It's a real showcase of Cartier high watchmaking, and I haven't seen this watch in in over 10 years, well over 10 years since I worked at Cartier. And when I saw it, good memories came in. I remember staring at this as like a young, I'm still a young man, but as a much younger man, getting started in watches. And yeah, it's a very special watch, and honestly, it's at a hell of a discount on our website. It's very high end, probably one of the most high end watches we've ever had the pleasure to offer here at Del Rey Watch. We have a Girard-Perregaux Laureato Evo 3 Moonphase, the same one I have. Is it my personal watch? No, mine is not for sale, but this is the exact same model, full box, full papers, on offer. So for all you guys emailing me always, where did I get mine? How do I get one? There's never any for sale. Well, Del Rey Watch now has one for sale, so go check it out. And we have an Omega Globemaster. Omega's kind of date-just competitor that's actually quite hard to get in the U.S. market for some reason, and we have one on Del Rey Watch. So go check it out, link in the description below. Some pieces I'm very proud to offer just went up, and very cool. Guys, these are the questions you asked me today on my Instagram account at Federico Talks Watches. You see the Q&A picture pop up from time to time, a couple times a month. You can ask your question there. Please don't DM me, I don't check them. But yeah, these are the questions. If you see me staring down, of course, I'm just reading them off the paper in no particular order. T. McTestface, do you suffer from watch fatigue? As a watchmaker, I know I do, although I guess it saves me money. Yeah, I kind of do suffer from watch fatigue. I mean, you're a watchmaker, so you probably understand this more than anybody, and you certainly understand me when I say I run a watch store and a YouTube channel, and I spend a very big portion of my day, almost every day, talking about watches. So in my free time, even though I still play with watches, sometimes I just want to forget they exist, just for a couple of hours, and focus on other things. My watch fatigue doesn't really last long, though. As long as I spend my Sundays kind of chilling out, not really worrying about it, or thinking about it, I still enjoy my watches quite a bit. But like anything in life, too much of a good thing, you need a break sometimes. And fortunately, watches are my life, but sometimes just need a little break. And that's the just very honest answer to that question. Michael DeVries, hey Federico, keep up the great work. Later this year, both Rolex and Tudor will release their new watches for 2022. Are you looking forward to it? Do you think these brands will have a surprise to give us, or just slight variations? Michael, I am looking forward to it. I'm always excited to see what Rolex and Tudor release, even though I'm kind of known as a little bit of a Rolex hater. It's still exciting. I mean, Rolex is the crown in watchmaking. I do expect Tudor to release something new and crazy. They always do. I mean, the Black Bane bronze, their GMT no one was expecting. I mean, Tudor pushes the envelope. Do I expect Rolex to? Absolutely not. Rolex hasn't surprised me since the Sky Dweller. That's like one surprise in the last 15 years, Rolex. Rolex doesn't really do surprises. I mean, occasionally they do, as I said, with the Sky Dweller, but mainly they just tweak and move and collect their paychecks. As they say, the two easiest design jobs in the world are Porsche, the guy that designs the 911, and the designer at Rolex. They pretty much do nothing. Duke JJZ, what do you think of the new Omega Deep Planet Ocean Ultra Deep? Just novelty or a contender to the Rolex Deep Sea? Definitely a contender to the Rolex Deep Sea. It's statistically 6,000 meters of depth is more than the Rolex Deep Sea, and while no one's actually going to go that deep, water ratings can usually be a good judgment of how overall tough a watch is. Shock resistance, stuff like that. That can kind of be assumed by the depth rating, even though it's not an exact science. They've also removed the helium escape valve, which makes this watch very handsome. Yes, the proportions are all out of whack. It's very thick, but so is the Deep Sea. I do think it's a little bit of a copy and competitor of the Deep Sea, but it makes sense. Omega hasn't had a diver in that segment. Now they do, and it's very, very handsome and technically very impressive. So, while it's certainly not game-changing, I think it's a release that makes sense, and it is a true competitor to the Deep Sea. T-Man making moves. Federico, my man with the plan. What's harder, losing the pounds or not keeping more watches for your own collection? Honestly, the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life is try and lose weight. I'm about 80 pounds down now. It has stalled a little bit. I'm not really putting anything back on, but the weight loss is really, really slowed down. I'm also taking a little bit of a mental break from the whole thing, but don't worry, I'm not giving up. I'm going to focus on it probably again starting tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, there's nothing this hard I've ever done, which is surprising. Maybe I need to do harder things in my life, but yeah, at least for me personally, massively hard. Steve Stoyan, a good customer of Del Rey Watch and a friend of the channel. Hey Fed, looking great, brother. Question about the VC56. Is it a good entry level to the Trinity or a poor man's Vacheron? Steve, it's kind of both, right? I think it's a beautiful watch. The movement is decorated very well, even though it's basically just a Cartier 1904 MC, now made by a Richemont movement manufacturer, the Val Fleurier. The movement is unimpressive. It's also the only Vacheron to not have the Geneva seal. However, that doesn't mean it's not decorated very well. It's not decorated to Geneva seal quality. Obviously, they have to keep the cost low. But I find the case handsome, the dial handsome, the movement is pretty to look at. Yes, it's definitely an entry-level Vacheron. There's no question that it's an entry-level Vacheron. Is it a poor man's Vacheron? I mean, you could argue yes, but I think that's being a little harsh. Anyway, guys, quick video today. That's all I have for you. I got to get back to work. Things are kind of going nuts here. Lots of watches come in, lots of watches coming out. But I will be making another video for you in a couple of days. Guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content. And like this video. It really does help. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.